Welcome to the Brooklyn Technical High School Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so please be sure to sign up for more. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/BrooklynTech. And now I'd like to hand it over to our presenters. And first up is Babson College.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lindsay Ewing, and I'm one of the Assistant Directors of Admission at Babson. I'm excited to have a few minutes this evening to share some information about our college with you. So Babson is a small private business college that is located in Wellesley, Massachusetts, which is about 10 miles from the center of the city of Boston. When we talk about our location, we like to highlight that students at Babson have the best of both worlds. They are studying on a campus that has lots of trees, a quad, quintessentially New England brick buildings, and yet they have easy access to a wonderful city in Boston for internships, for taking in a Red Sox game, for going to museums, concerts, all those wonderful things. When you think of Babson, we of course hope that you think business. And then beyond that, we hope that two other words come to mind. And those are global and entrepreneurial. And we say global because we think if you're going to go into business, it's essential that you know how to relate to people who are like you and people who are different from you. So our campus community of 2,400 students includes about 30% international students from over 80 countries. We typically have 48 or 49 out of the 50 states represented on campus. We're about 20% first generation students, about 45% students of color. So again, our hope is that if you come to Babson, there will be some people that you have a lot in common with and immediately understand, as well as folks who, when you're working on a project together, or you are having a conversation late at night in a dorm, their perspective is very different from yours and helps you think about a problem in a new way. The other word I mentioned is entrepreneurial or entrepreneurship, and that is what we are known for within the realm of business. We have actually been ranked #1 for entrepreneurship for the past 24 years, which we are quite proud of. But we do think it's important to say a little bit about what that does and does not mean, because it doesn't mean that every student who goes to Babson graduates and starts his or her own business. If that's something that you're excited about, you certainly will be well prepared for it based on the way our curriculum works and the experiences that you'll have. But we also think about entrepreneurship of all kinds, or entrepreneurial thought and action, as a mindset, where we are going to teach you how to pivot, how to take calculated risks, how to think outside the box, how to not be afraid of failure. And that is going to serve you well, whether you have your own venture after graduation, or whether you go and work at an established organization in something like accounting, marketing, finance, operations, whatever your interest may be. We do have every student at Babson start their own business in their freshman year, which may sound really exciting. It also may sound challenging and like you might have no idea how to do that. We take it from step one, brainstorming. You eventually have a rocket pitch day, which is a little bit like the show Shark Tank, where the professors are your investors and you have 3 slides and 3 minutes with a couple classmates to convince them that they should invest in your idea. And then we do fund 3 businesses per class section, and everybody gets put on a team to actually run in the spring semester, and you close the business down at the end of your freshman year. If you are profitable, you donate that money to a organization in the Boston area. And if you're not, your grade is based on effort. It's meant to be a learning experience, and it really sets the stage for the following 3 years of business education. Classes at Babson are small. Our student faculty ratio is 14:1. We don't have any teaching assistants at Babson, so you have full access to your professors. They'll know your name and they'll notice if you're missing from class, which we hear is both a good and a bad thing. Every student at Babson leaves with the same degree. It's a Bachelor of Science that's grounded in business, but it is nonetheless a well-rounded education, and that 50% of your courses will be in business and 50% in the liberal arts. And you have a lot of say as to what those liberal arts courses are. We recognize that business can take students in many different directions, so there are 27 ways to concentrate your degree, ranging from accounting, marketing, finance, to literary and visual arts. legal studies, technology, entrepreneurship, and design. Because if you think about it, there's really a business side to any career that you could possibly have in the future. And then I also want to highlight that we're part of the BOW partnership. Students at Babson can take courses at Olin College of Engineering and Wellesley College for no additional charge. Great complement to our business education to have a liberal arts focused school and an engineering focused school in our network. Because we are small and residential, there's a lot going on campus. We have sports, arts, Greek life, many campus events. And again, I want to highlight that we're just 10 miles from the center of the city of Boston. I do want to highlight quickly as well that we recognize college as a big investment of time and resources, and Babson is a smart investment. 99% of our students are employed full-time or attending graduate school within 6 months of graduation. Our average annual starting salary for the class of 2020 is just over $62,000 a year. And our Center for Career Development helps with your career planning from the time you're first year. They start to get to know you and walk you through finding internships, job opportunities. At Babson, we say it's less about, oh my goodness, am I going to find a job after I leave? And more, where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? Things like that. And briefly on admission, we are a school that evaluates applications holistically, which means we're looking at you in the context of your environment, the experiences that you've had, not trying to compare you to other students in your class or students that attend school down the road, next state, next country. We will be test optional for the next 3 years. And we are currently closed for visits on campus, but we do have a walking tour and a driving tour. So if you find yourself in the area and you want to check out Babson, by all means, we just unfortunately don't have tour guides yet to take you around. So thanks so much for your attention, and I look forward to answering any questions you might have in the chat.
Great, thanks so much, Lindsay. Next up is Swarthmore College.
Thank you, and hello everybody. I'm going to start sharing my screen. All right, so hello, welcome to this session. Props to you all again for doing this on a Tuesday after a long day of class. My name is Yokwin Jo, and I'll be talking a little bit about Swarthmore College. I use she, her pronouns, and assistant dean of admissions at Swarthmore. And here's my email address. Feel free to reach out to me after this session for any questions, and I'll be putting that in the chat after this presentation as well. So a little bit, kind of a big picture things about Swarthmore. We are a small private college of liberal arts, sciences, and engineering located right outside the city of Philadelphia. There are about 1,600 students, so a relatively small school, and our students come from all 50 states in the US, as well as over 85 countries in the world. There are over 40 programs to choose from, and what is really important about the Swarthmore community is this commitment to social justice, access, equity, inclusion, as well as affordability of higher education. So we might be actually the only liberal arts college, small liberal arts college in the mix today. So a little bit about liberal arts. It is a well-rounded education, right? We want you to study the world through multiple lenses: humanities, natural sciences, social sciences. The idea is for you to walk away with these transferable skills that make you successful at whatever you choose to do later on in life. And in addition, you get to really enjoy life as part of a small residential community where you get to build really close and intentional relationships with both your professors and your peers. And you get to have easy access to all these general resources when it comes to financial aid, funding for internships and research, as well as equitable study abroad programs and so forth. So here's what Swarthmore is. We're right outside the city of Philadelphia, about an hour and a half or 2 hours from New York City, depending on your way of transportation. This is the picture of the Philly skyline from our campus. And we're so fortunate to be so close to a major city. So you can take the train from the foot of our campus straight into downtown Philadelphia in just about 25 minutes and enjoy all those wonderful things that Philly has to offer as a major city on the East Coast. But at the same time, you're surrounded by this immense natural beauty, right? We are also a National Arboretum, over 400 acres of beautiful woods. We have a creek that runs through it, a lot of hiking trails, and there's this outdoor amphitheater, which is also where our students graduate from. This is where commencement takes place. And because the suburban Philadelphia is an area very concentrated with colleges and universities, with that also comes a lot of partnerships. So we share pretty much everything with our two partners, Haverford and Bryn Mawr. Both are also liberal arts colleges, so you can take their class, use their dining hall, go to all of our events. And you can also cross-register with the University of Pennsylvania, which is in the city of Philadelphia. And speaking more about kind of the academic opportunities you'll have here, it's very flexible education. We want you to customize your own academic path. So with those 40 plus majors and minors, you can choose from a lot of different interdisciplinary programs, such as gender and sexuality studies, peace and conflict studies, Latin American Latino studies, East Asian studies, where you really dig into the intersections of different fields of study. Students can also design their own major if it doesn't exist already as a department or as a major. So folks have created things like international video game studies or architectural history of Philadelphia, right? We are also one of the very few liberal arts colleges that offer engineering. So you'll have access to a general engineering degree where you look at all the subfields of engineering. And there's also very dedicated advising for both students who are looking at medical school and students who are thinking about law school. And we have a lot of success having students in those directions, with 84% admission rate to medical school and 92% to law school. So both are much higher than the national average. And then last but not least, there's a very unique honors program. There's no other program like this in the US, where you dig very deeply into just a few topics of your choice within your fields of study. And at the end of your time at Swarthmore, you get examined by the top experts in the world on these very matters. And one thing I want to mention really about the sort of culture of academics at Swarthmore, that environment, right? So the first semester is entirely pass-fail. So no grades your first semester as a freshman at Swarthmore. We want you to spend the time to figure stuff out, right? Like make friends, go to activities, right? Figure out how to be a college student for the first time. And we also want you to work with each other. So when grades are not part of the question, students tend to work together on projects, right? They tend to ask each other questions more along the lines of, hey, do you know how to do this? Let's work together, instead of, hey, what did you get on that paper? Or what did you get in that class? We also do not publish a GPA all 4 years, although you can calculate that yourself. But really the focus of learning at Swarthmore is purely learning, right? It's getting the most out of this experience instead of competing with each other for that numerical grade. And we encourage you to take risks, right? Intellectual risks, and take things that you might have never have experienced or heard of in the past. One thing I mentioned earlier is this dedication to social justice and issues of equity, inclusion, and access in our world. Our students are very attracted to these missions to this day, even though we're no longer affiliated with Quakers. We were founded by people who strongly believe in the mission of this institution, right? So students are engaged with the world and in community projects and issues that have to do with civic and social responsibility. And there's close to $1 million dedicated each year to students who are pursuing these opportunities, whether that's on campus, off campus, domestic, or international. And lots of things happen, right? Over 120 student clubs, organizations for you to choose from that range from performing arts, sports, activities that have to do with volunteering, and identity-based groups as well. So, Swati is never just wear one hat, right? They have multiple identities, and they're engaged with their peers in many different ways. Because we're a cash-free campus, right? So going on to student support, nothing at Swarthmore will be at any additional cost once you're on campus. And in addition to that, folks of different experiences and backgrounds also find a community and make connections with each other in many different campus spaces as well. The last thing I'll mention, because I'm coming up on time, is our financial aid policy. So a couple of things to keep in mind. We're need blind, so we don't care how much your family can pay for your education. That is true for all U.S. citizens, permanent residents, and undocumented and DACA students. And we meet full need, which means that whatever your family needs to pay for Swarthmore, we will meet 100% of that need. And then the third piece is that in our financial aid award, you won't find loans. So we're a loan-free institution, and the average aid award is $56,000 a year. So I'll end my presentation there and leave my information in the chat, and I'll turn it over to my colleague.
Great, thank you very much. And next up is Case Western Reserve University.
Thank you so much. Let me go ahead and get my screen situated here. So welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in on this Tuesday evening. I am very much enjoying hearing from my colleagues at other institutions, but a little bit about myself and about Case Western Reserve University. My name is Marguerite McLean. I am one of the Associate Directors of Admission here at CWRU. A little bit about Case Western Reserve. We are a mid-sized research institution. We are located in the beautiful city of Cleveland, Ohio, which you will see here. We have just about 5,200 undergraduate students. About 14% of our student body is international students. Over 20% hold citizenship from outside of the US. So very much a diverse campus here. That is certainly something that we're looking for when we're reading applications and when we're building the class, is that diversity, whether it's geographic diversity, ethnic, socioeconomic, diversity of thought, and diversity of perspective. A little bit about the university. So we are comprised of 4 different undergraduate institutions. So we have our Case School of Engineering, 13 different engineering majors, everything from aerospace to chemical, biomolecular, biomedical engineering. We have our College of Arts and Sciences, which houses everything from fine arts to natural sciences, humanities, and the social sciences. We have our Weatherhead School of Management, which is our business school, and then finally our nursing school. We are a little bit different than some other institutions in the fact that we have what we call a single door admission policy. So when you are applying to CWRU, you are actually applying to the school as a whole. You are not applying specifically to one of those schools. This allows students when they come in to major in whatever they would like. So you can be that biomedical engineering major who also takes finance classes within the business school because you know you're going to start your own startup company. Or you can be a nursing student who minors in Spanish because you know that that's going to be a really invaluable skill for you to have. So there's definitely that emphasis on interdisciplinary learning. Our students definitely like to explore. They're doing so through the classes that they're taking. They're also doing so through the amazing resources that we have here on campus. And one of those resources that I want to highlight is our Sears ThinkBox facility. So our Sears ThinkBox facility is our design and innovation space on campus. It is the largest open access makerspace of its kind on any college or university campus in the entire world. The student that's featured here, Badar Kayani, is actually working in Sears ThinkBox. So the product that he's working on in this photo will actually decontaminate an N95 mask in under a minute. So obviously very important with everything going on in the world right now. Typically that process can take up to an hour, and he developed this machine that can do it in under a minute. So really, really incredible things that our students are doing with the resources here. Our students are also exploring through research. The vast majority of our students will do some sort of research while they're here at CWRU. Research certainly spans the disciplines. So, research is happening in the STEM fields. It's also happening in the social sciences, within the humanities. The student that's featured here, Chris Carr, actually studied physics and astronomy that you can see. He was doing research out at Kitt Peak National Observatory out in Arizona. He actually discovered a galaxy while he was doing his research. So pretty cool to be able to put that on your resume. Subsequently, he got to interview Neil deGrasse Tyson on his radio show after doing that research. So really, really amazing things. I also want to highlight our location because I think our location makes us unique. So Case Western Reserve, like I said, is located in the city of Cleveland. We are located about 5 kilometers, 3 miles east of downtown Cleveland. You can see the city skyline in the background there. We are located in a neighborhood called University Circle. University Circle is, a very big cultural district, here in the city. So you'll see the Cleveland Museum of Art is located just about 2 blocks from my office. You'll see the Museum of Natural History, the Botanical Gardens, the Museum of Contemporary Art. We are also surrounded by 3 huge hospital systems. So you'll see university hospitals, the Cleveland Clinic, and the Stokes VA Hospital. You'll also see our brand new CWRU Health
education campus. So this is a brand new $515 million facility that houses our medical school, nursing school, and dental school. So I tell students, if you're interested in studying anything in the health sciences or interested in going into, anything in the health professions, you really can't be in a better place. Having all of these resources right here, I think really drives our students to have an emphasis on experiential learning. So if you are, the type of student who likes to learn by doing, CWRU may be a good place for you because our students are really utilizing these resources. They're going and doing firsthand research at the Museum of Natural History. If they're taking an art history class, they're going to be spending a lot of time in the art museum, and they're really taking advantage of being located here in the city. If there are three things that I want you to take away, from my short talk today, is really the emphasis that we have on interdisciplinary learning here at CWRU, students' ability to learn across disciplines, the amazing resources and research available to students here, and then finally the experiential learning opportunities that we have for our students. Very briefly, I will talk about application process. So we utilize a holistic review process. We accept the Common App and Coalition app. Our deadlines are posted there. We do guarantee to meet full demonstrated need for all of our admitted students. So we are very lucky to be able to do that. And with that, I see Matt popping back on here. So I look forward to answering your questions in the chat.
Excellent, thanks very much. Next up is the University of Tampa.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys all so much for joining us today. My name's Alexandra. I'm an admissions counselor from the University of Tampa, and I work with New York students. So I'll be your point of contact basically throughout the process. If you have any questions at all, I'm happy to help. So I'll definitely drop my contact information in the chat as well afterwards. But just to give you some background information about the University of Tampa, of course, we're located in Tampa, Florida, right in downtown. I know it's kind of hard to tell in that picture, but on the other side of the river is the downtown area. So it's just a 5-minute walk across the bridge, excuse me, and you have access to all these great restaurants, museums, internship opportunities. And of course, I couldn't miss the opportunity to shout out Tampa Bay. We have our NHL team, the Lightning, and our NFL team, the Bucks, who brought home our championships this past year. And both teams had their celebration on the river right next to campus. So it was a lot of fun for our community to be a part of those celebrations. We got to see Tom Brady and Gronk and the Lightning team. Their coach actually started a UT chant. So it was a lot of fun for us to be a part of that. But to give you some information about the school itself, we are a medium-sized university with just under 10,000 students. We have students from all 50 states in over 130 different countries. So you'll be meeting students from all over the world right here on campus. We are a private university, meaning we're the same price for in-state and out-of-state students. We're independent, meaning we have no religious or political affiliation, although we do have a chapel on campus that's available for anyone to use. And we are a liberal arts school. So outside of your major, you'll be taking classes in a variety of different subjects. We like to see our students graduate with a well-rounded education, so they'll be an expert in a few different areas. We like to describe UT as an urban environment with a campus feel. So like I said, we are right in downtown Tampa, but we still have that traditional college campus where students can walk from their classes to the dorm, the dining hall, without worrying about traffic, as there are no major roads that run through campus, but you still have access to the city. We are NCAA Division II, and if you're interested in playing a sport, we'd be happy to connect you with one of the coaches as they handle recruitment and athletic scholarships. UT was rated a top-tier regional university in the South by US News and World Report, and we were also rated best college location in Florida by Niche in 2020. Tampa is just a really cool city to be in. There's so many different opportunities and things to be involved with, both on campus and off. Some information about the academic side of things. Our average class size is about 22 students, so probably something you're used to in high school. Our faculty to student ratio is 1:17, and all of our classes are taught by professors, none are taught by TAs or grad students. They all hold office hours outside of their classroom hours, so they're very accessible, they'll know your name, so if you ever need any extra help, they're definitely available. 90% of our faculty do have a PhD or a terminal degree, so you'll be learning from the best of the best, and many of them even still work in their fields, so they can be great resources when it comes to finding those internships. We do have over 200 areas of study, and I could spend all day talking about each one, but I only have a few more minutes. So if you're interested in any of our different areas, please feel free to send me a message. I'd be happy to chat with you one-on-one. We have 4 different academic colleges: the College of Business, the College of Arts and Letters, College of Natural Sciences, and the College of Social Sciences. So there's a little bit of something for everyone, and you could always minor or double major if that's something you're interested in doing. We really push for an experiential education here on campus. So starting as early as freshman year, you'll have lots of undergraduate research opportunities. You can see in some of the pictures there ways that all of our students can get involved outside of the classroom. We have one of the top nursing programs in the state of Florida. We've had a 100% pass rate on the NCLEX in 7 out of the last 8 years with our mock hospital. It's a great hands-on opportunity before our students get to the clinical setting. We also have our own version of Shark Tank. So local Tampa Bay investors come and listen to students' ideas, inventions, and every semester we have 1 or 2 students that actually win and receive funding to make their ideas come to life. Our Fab Lab has our 3D printers and laser cutters. We have our off-campus marine science field station with our wet labs there and 3 vessels you can take out into the Gulf of Mexico. And then we do have a financial trading center where you can trade live stocks in real time. Of course, we want you to love where you live and learn. So right here on campus, a part of your meal plan, we have 27 different dining options, including a Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, Einstein Bagel Brothers, a Dairy Queen, and many other options. We also have over 300 clubs and organizations for students to get involved in, everything from academic-based clubs, hobby-based clubs, student government, Greek life. Some of our more popular clubs would be the Beach Club and the Skydiving Club that are just a lot of fun. We also have a hammock club where students like to sit out on the river and watch the world go by, all the boats and everything. Maybe you'll see Tom Brady go by on his boat as well. All right, so for our application deadlines, we have 2 rounds of early action. We do not have early decision at UT, so our deadlines are non-binding. That first deadline will be November 15th, and you'll have a decision by December 20th. Early action 2 in January with the decision in February, and then our regular decision deadline is March 1st, but we do accept applications on a rolling basis. And our applications open in September, and we do accept the Common App, the Coalition application, and our own UT application. And what we'll need in your application, there we go, is your official high school transcript, personal essay, and at least 1 recommendation letter. We have gone test optional through spring of 2023. So for those of you applying for fall of 2022, we will not be requiring your SAT or ACT scores to be included in your application. I know there's a lot to cover, so I'm barely touching the top of it, but I would love to chat with you guys more. Again, I'll drop my contact information in the chat below, but I look forward to working with each one of you. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks so much. Our next presentation is from Columbia College, Chicago.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm working on getting the presentation up. Give me 1 second here. Alrighty. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We're so happy y'all can hear from all the colleges today. My name is Jasenia Sanchez. I'm one of the admissions officers here at Columbia College Chicago. I am originally from New Jersey, not too far from y'all, and I moved out to Chicago when I attended Columbia back in 2013. Came out and graduated from the music business program, and now am happy to be helping students kind of with the same process I went through to join the Columbia community. So Columbia is a college for creatives in downtown Chicago in the South Loop neighborhood, which is the picture you're looking at here, right in the middle of the city. We are a school that combines creative and media arts, liberal arts, and business expertise. Through our curriculum, you really get to experience rigorous academics, hands-on learning, collaboration, and career preparation. We incorporate business, marketing, and entrepreneur skills into your education because those are the skills that make you marketable, and they're transferable and can prepare you for countless paths within your industry. We're home to around 7,000 students, mostly undergraduate with a small population of graduate students. And in fall 2020, we did welcome a new class of around 1,700 students, which is new freshmen and transfer students to campus, which is exciting. We are also proud to offer small class sizes and a low faculty to student ratio. Our average class size is around 18 students. And of course, as with any average, there are some larger classes which are typically in your first year, while some of your more specialized and advanced classes do get even to be smaller than 18 sometimes. These small class sizes, they really just allow for improved access to faculty members, development of group projects, and really networking with your peers and faculty so that you're learning as much as you can from the industry right through the ears and mouth of faculty and students. It helps launch successful careers in that community. Now we have over 60 majors and programs in fields like visual arts, performing arts, media and digital arts, communication and writing, music and sound, and business and management. I myself graduated, like I said, from the music business program and got to do some really great stuff within the department to really get that hands-on experience I mentioned. If any of these catch your eye, anything from film and TV to photography or anything, you can actually go to colum.edu/majors to learn more about what exactly you do within the major, the curriculum, how it's broken down, the kinds of courses you're taking to see if it's the right fit for what you're looking for. You can learn more also through different events and stuff we have going on campus, which I'll talk about a little bit later. We do offer some select programs as BFA and BMUS. These programs are more credit intensive and have some different requirements to apply into, but you can always, of course, receive those details when the time comes. For all of our BA programs, you are not required to submit a portfolio. There is a scholarship that is attached to a portfolio. So of course, we do encourage you to go for the scholarship. But as far as admission into the college, you are not required to do a portfolio for any of these majors. Minors, of course, are encouraged. We offer a variety of creative and practical minors to really supplement your skill set. Some examples include teaching artists, writing for television, hip hop studies, fashion studies, environmental studies, and stage combat. So it's about finding the one that you feel complements your career goals best. Now, our goal really is to foster a creative learning environment, right, for our students, an environment that isn't just in the classes, but extends to clubs, residence centers, and of course, the city of Chicago itself. We really do understand the creative student. We know what you need, how you live, how to encourage you, how to support you, how to propel you and your craft. Students do have access to different facilities to put their skills to work and expand your portfolio from the very beginning. Our own theaters to put on musicals, studios to record your own music, sets and cameras to do your own films. Your time at Columbia is about so much more than just the time you spend in the classroom. As a student, you'll participate in ensembles, rehearsals, studio time, real life projects that directly relate to your coursework and your future career. And of course, if you're interested in joining clubs or organizations, we have more than 85 ranging from volunteer organizations to groups like Black Student Union and Latino Alliance. Now, our students, faculty members, and alumni have a great presence in Chicago's creative workplaces. While Columbia is student-focused, we want our students to be job-focused. Career preparation is super integrated from the very first day, not just at the end of your college journey. It occurs both in and out of the classroom with many career services and resources available to all students. As students build their bodies of work, staff in the Career Center will provide individual career counseling, assist in building a personal brand, including setting up websites, business cards, and more, and really help students explore careers and internship opportunities from the very beginning to the very end. You can also, of course, find on and off-campus jobs and internships opportunities through the help of the Career Center. But one of the great things I always love to highlight is a portal called Handshake that helps you search for those things. Now, this is just to wrap up the different ways you can learn more and dive in. We have a lot of great virtual opportunities. You can go to colum.edu/virtual to dig deeper. And this is just my contact info. You can either snap a picture, and of course, I'll also drop it in the chat for everybody to have it. Thank you so much for joining tonight.
Excellent. Thanks so much. And thank you to all of our presenters. We now have a few minutes for some Q&A before we wrap things up, and I'll invite all of our presenters to come back on camera and respond to this question. What advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And if our presenters could respond in the same order that they presented, that would be great.
Absolutely. So I will kick things off and say that I would advise you not to be shy. All of the people on this call are excited to get to know you and to hear about what your goals are for the future. And we love to hear from students. You're not bothering us by sending an email, placing a phone call, asking for an interview or a meeting. We like to hear from kids.
That is great advice. And my piece to offer is to try to talk to current students as much as you can, as much as we consider ourselves experts of all things about our institutions. Current students can always offer you the most genuine, right, unfiltered current student experience, and try to talk to someone who might share your hometown, right, your background, your lived experience, your identity, so that you can really see what life is like for a student like yourself.
Awesome. So my piece of advice would be to start taking notes. Hopefully you have attended some virtual sessions, or, potentially are planning to attend some on-campus in-person tours. No matter what you do, they all kind of start to blur together a little bit. So I think keeping notes, even if it's jotting down little things that sparked your interest, is really, really helpful when you go back in the process.
My piece of advice would be to, if possible, try to visit the campus that you're interested in applying to, because that's going to be the best way that you get a feel for what the college is like. Can you actually see yourself there on campus? Does it feel like it's the right fit? Because you might love the school on paper, but if it just doesn't feel right, then it might not be their place for 4 years.
Absolutely, I echo all of that. And then I would also add, I always say, treat it as the investment that it is. It's a long road and it's very tedious. So take care of yourself throughout the process, but treat it as the investment it is in yourself, in your future, because you're putting time, money, and energy into this institution for the next 4 years.
Excellent. Thank you all. So our next question is, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
My favorite event or tradition at Babson is something called midnight breakfast. At the end of every semester, right before exams begin, our professors come to campus in their pajamas late at night and serve pancakes, eggs, bacon, the whole deal, to students to make sure they are fueled and ready for their exams.
I like that. We have something similar, but our events called Primal Scream. So all of it happens around the same time. I think there are lots of events were happening around that time because students are so stressed going to finals week. So our students attend, also a midnight breakfast, but they also go on the top of their desks or the tables in the dining hall and they scream for a minute long, just to let all the stress out, to get you ready for final season.
I feel like everyone could use that every once in a while, right? So one of my favorite events at CWRU is every spring, with the exception of this past spring, we bring a comedian to campus. So it's open to the students and community. So over the past couple of years, we've had Trevor Noah come to campus. We've had Hassan Minaj come to campus. Apparently, we only bring Daily Show people to CWRU, but it's super fun, and I have been fortunate to be able to go.
One of my favorite events that we have here on campus is called Party in the Park. So right here on campus, if you remember the picture from my presentation, right next to the river, we hold a concert here on campus every semester, or excuse me, every spring. And it's usually after spring break. So this year we did it virtually, but our headliner is Jason Derulo. So we actually get some pretty big names. And so that's our students' favorite activity that we hold on campus.
Nice. For us, it's for a lot of us, so I know I'm not speaking just for myself, but it's Manifest, which is an urban arts festival that we throw. We pretty much shut down the streets right in our campus in Chicago, and we allow the whole day to be dedicated to students showing off all their artwork. There's performances, there's food trucks, you're getting to see people's galleries, all the work that they've put in, basically, especially the seniors. It's kind of our last hurrah for them to basically celebrate all the art they've created. And that's kind of how we like to go out every year.
Excellent, thank you all. So I have one more question before we wrap up, and that would be to give an interesting or fun fact about your school.
A fun fact about Babson is that we have the second largest world globe in the world on campus, and it's one of the central landmarks of Babson. There are flags that fly around it from every country that's currently represented on campus, and sometimes we don't even have enough space for all of the flags, so we have to rotate them in and out because there are so many different countries represented, and it actually does rotate very slowly, but if you come to campus and check it out, you'll notice that it does rotate.
So fun fact about Swarthmore is that we actually have a swim test because there's a creek on campus, that's like high. It's not just like knee high. But we do have a swim test. You can test out of it. But if not, you will take a short swim lesson. So making sure that you can swim. So at least one skill that you're graduating from Swarthmore with.
So a fun fact about CWRU, if you are a physics student or you enjoy physics, you have probably heard of the Michelson and Morley experiment. That was actually done on the campus of CWRU by Michelson and Morley and supported some of Einstein's previous work. And it basically showed that the velocity of light is a universal constant. So some pretty cool stuff.
One of my favorite facts about UT, so this building behind me in the picture, this is the building that I currently work in. It's called Plant Hall, and it was originally the Tampa Bay Hotel, and that it was built in the late 1800s, and in like the 1920s, it became the University of Tampa. But everything used to be right here in this building, the cafeteria, the library, the dorms, all the classrooms, everything is right here on campus. And as you saw in the picture again, you see how much we've expanded. So that's probably my fun fact is this used to be UT.
I think for me, it's going to be, we actually have a Quidditch team at Columbia because we're that passionate about Harry Potter. And so it's like, we always say we have no other sports, but the one thing we will always have is our awesome Quidditch team. That's how we indulge in physical activity.
Excellent. Thank you all. So that brings us to the end of this session. I want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you to our presenters for all the great information that you shared. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick survey, and we do appreciate your feedback. And please do sign up for more sessions that are part of this college fair later today and tomorrow. And you'll be able to find a recording from this session and other sessions in about a week at strivescan.com/BrooklynTech. So thank you all so much and have a great rest of your night.